Palestinian refugees on the pitch at one of the world's most prestigious football clubs. What is going on here? When so many others remain silent, why did this club decide to draw a line on Palestine? What I found here was a story bigger than football, bigger than the club itself, an instinct shaped by history. I visited the headquarters of the athletic club in Bilbao. In an industry consumed by global capital and absurd transfer fees, this remained a club owned by its members. Here I met Johanna, the club's director of community affairs.
It's based in our true story, I would say, and it's a club that is very much linked to the community. It's very much linked to the society because of our sport philosophy that we only play with local players. We are a clear example of our culture, our identity.
The club's funded programs for Palestinian refugee children in Syria hosted a friendly with the Palestinian national team and issued an official statement condemning the genocide in Gaza.
Has Athletic Club faced any backlash for being so, open, so clear?
Everything that was happening in Palestine, we understood it as a humanity emergency, and we knew that we were playing with football as a social tool in a very specific moment. That it was more about humanity rather than any politics.
In time, it became clear that the club's stance on Palestine was a reflection of its fans. What was it about the Basque experience that made this solidarity feel so instinctive and so urgent? To understand the psyche of the Basque people, I traveled to Gernika.
La pregunta central que tendrás tú será ¿por qué existe tanta solidaridad por parte del pueblo vasco sobre la causa palestina? Y la respuesta la tenemos aquí.
This is Ibon, an activist with Gernika Palestina, one of the key groups advocating for Palestine. Here in Gernika, activists have held several protests, including a die-in at the main market square, one of the sites of the bombing that took place in 1937.
Y esta fue la plaza que, digamos, era la zona cero del bombardeo que se gestó contra la población de Gernika. El fascismo, el franquismo español, aliado con los nazis alemanes y con los fascistas italianos, aprovecharon ese día, sabiendo que era un día de mercado donde había un montón de gente, aprovecharon ese día para hacer un experimento, un laboratorio. Fue la primera vez que utilizaron la masacre de una ciudad completamente y la utilizaron como experimento para que luego en la Segunda Guerra Mundial lo aplicasen de forma sistemática.
First pictures from the Basque Republic of the holy city of Gernika, scene of the most terrible air raid our modern history yet can boast. Hundreds were killed here, men, women and children. 4,000 bombs were dropped out of a blue sky into a hell that raged unchecked for 5 murderous hours.
The bombing of Gernika marked something new, the deliberate indiscriminate destruction of a city from the air. Have you heard of the London Blitz of World War II? Or the Allied bombings of Dresden? The template for these carpet bombings were laid in Gernika.
No sé si visteis esto, y fue una forma de decir al mismo tiempo también de que una selección vasca que no es oficial y un país que a día de hoy no es oficial como es el País Vasco, se solidariza y se une con el palestino y entre las dos naciones, entre los dos pueblos, alzamos la voz a todo el mundo como lo hicimos para decirles que Euskal Herria y Palestina deben ser libres.
Oh, thank you.
For more than 2 years of genocide in Gaza, the people in Basque have showed up in protests across the region. So this was no longer a question of Basque solidarity for Palestine, but rather, why did it feel so natural and so part of life here?
In fact, for a lot of people here in Basque, we are an occupied country. We are an occupied people without a state.
This is Inigo, an activist who has spent years standing up for justice for Palestinians. He says the Basque people understand the Palestinian struggle for self-determination because of their own history of resistance to Spanish control. Stretching across present-day northern Spain and southwestern France, the Basque country, or Escolheria, is considered among Europe's oldest surviving cultures. For centuries they governed themselves, but that autonomy was stripped away in the 19th century as Spain moved to centralize power. After mounting significant resistance to the rise of fascism during the Spanish Civil War, the Basque people were subjected to a campaign of erasure under dictator Francisco Franco.
España cumple en los momentos actuales su destino providencial. Como en otras épocas, derrama ahora su sangre en defensa de la civilización.
Let's say we are like linking with the Palestinian struggle, no? A country without a state, a country that is under the occupation, a country that systematically is denied their own rights for self-determination.
For close to 50 years, their language and flag were banned. For many Basques, simply being who they were became an act of resistance. Out of this repression emerged a broader movement for self-determination. While some groups pursued peaceful political routes, others, most notably the ETA, turned to armed struggle. Though the armed struggle ended more than a decade ago, its legacy still shapes how people express solidarity with the Palestinian cause.
Is there a different understanding of armed resistance in Basque?
Yes, I think the majority of the population here in Basque, in this case, let's say the Palestinian people, they have their own right to have their freedom with all methods they decide. And this is something that is clearly known by the United Nations. We are not telling the Palestinian people, yes, join the struggle with armed forces. Let's make it in a peaceful way. No. They will decide
for themselves.
Under that occupation, they have all the rights to determine the method.
This one says glory to the Palestinian resistance. And you can see the Palestinian flag and also armed fighter here. This one is about Venezuela. So supporting Venezuela against Trump's latest attempt to expand the US empire. I don't think I can find anyone better than Mohammed, who's Palestinian living in Bilbao. You were at the football game, one of the guests invited. Palestinians were asked to come onto the pitch.
Yes.
And the entire crowd stood up and greeted you.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I cannot explain it in words. Just it's entering the feeling in your body. You want to cry because you see all the people in the stadium. We are talking about more than 50,000 persons. And they stand up, they start clapping, they start shouting, freedom for Palestine, freedom for Palestine. Some families around me, I was seeing their tears.
They were crying.
They were crying. I didn't cry, but I was like, inside I want to cry.
When the world thinks about Gernika, they think about a painting. They think about a place that was punished for just existing. And when you walk here today, you can see the cafes are open, people are walking around, there's a calm. But everywhere you go, there's like a symbol or a sign of the past. And there's a pride in it. And there's also, the memory is still very raw because there's the past and then there's the present, and there's almost a direct line between the two.